I hate being called hamster boy.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Opinion, and today I'm going to be talking about the James Cameron movie Titanic, and I'm going to be explaining why this is not a romance movie.
Good man.
If you objectively look at the relationship between Jack and Rose, there's really nothing romantic about it. It's not like a love story. It's you know what? Let me preface this by saying I love Titanic. It's one of my favorite movies from my childhood. I've watched it so many times. I've probably watched it 40 times. I'm not ashamed of it. You know, there's a lot of great things to love about the movie. There's a reason why it was once the highest grossing movie of all time. Now, for those who are consistent viewers on my channel, and for those who don't know, I'm a massive history geek, and I'm training to become a historian. And the thing that got me interested into history in the first place was actually the sinking of the Titanic. The real-life sinking of the Titanic has always fascinated me. I've got newspaper clippings of it, posters, models, I've got books, you name it. I'm a big Titanic geek, and I love this movie. But the thing about the movie, like, it is a brilliant film. It has things that appeal to both male and female audiences, which makes it brilliant. That's why it's such a successful movie. You know, there's the supposed love story, and then the sinking, which is epic and awesome. I love that. The boys love that. I don't know. Maybe not the boys, but it's still a good movie. Special effects were great. But guys, this is more of like an unscripted rant. I watched the movie recently, and I'm just gonna be explaining to you why Titanic is not such a romantic movie as people like to pretend it is. So I know a lot of people are gonna be angry about this review, but you know, that's what we do. Unpopular opinion. That's why I'm here. So objectively, let's just look at the relationship between Jack and Rose. It's not really a love story in its most basic form. It's a vacation hookup between two strangers of completely different socioeconomic classes that ends in a tragedy. You might call me heartless, but there's nothing romantic about it, especially considering the fact that Rose is engaged, she's going to be married, and she's cheating on her fiance. And realistically, if the Titanic hadn't sunk and the two were to continue the relationship off the ship, it wouldn't have lasted, realistically. And I'll tell you why. Because Rose comes from a rich background, you know, she has a wealthy family, and she's accustomed to a certain standard of living, whereas in Jack, on the other hand, he's an unemployed transient artist who goes from place to place. And realistically, he's not going to be able to provide for Rose. He's not going to give her the lifestyle she's accustomed to. And even if she's willing to go down on lifestyle, finances are a very important thing in relationships, regardless of what anyone says. Like, if you can't really financially support yourself, that's a problem. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jack gets by. No, yeah, sure, he does get by, but he doesn't have a home. He can't really have a family with Rose, and if he's not making any stable money, that's a problem. So I'm pretty sure that relationship was doomed to fail if it actually went to New York and they started a life together. I'm convinced that they wouldn't actually be in a relationship together.
Pretty tough for a ballot, this fella. Seems more like a cop.
I think he was.
And another thing, I want to say another thing. If you look at it, again, very closely, watch the movie, observe this. Jack never once says to Rose, I love you. He admires Rose, he definitely has feelings for her, and he definitely says things like, I love this about you, I love this about you, but he never actually says to her, I love you. And Rose says, I love you when she's on the brink of death. Like, they're both about to die, and even Jack scolds her for that. He's like,
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that.
don't you say your goodbyes, you know? I'm not dying yet, you're not dying yet, like, not here, don't do that. You know, love story when Jack never said I love you. Rose said I love you at the brink of death when she thought that both of them were gonna die, like as a final goodbye. I don't really think that's as sincere or as impactful, because when you're in a life or death situation and your emotions are high, it's kind of like, all right, you're gonna say things emotionally that probably aren't true once you've calmed down from that state. Now, a lot of people are gonna argue with that. A lot of people are probably gonna say I'm heartless or I'm wrong. Oh well, that's just the way I see it. But what is undeniable is Rose, she's cheating on her fiance, and call me old-fashioned, that's not cool at all. So Rose is engaged to marry this guy, his name is Cal, and he's mocked up to be the villain, and he's like, we're supposed to hate this guy. Now granted, the dude has a really horrible arrogance, you know, he's a douchebag, and he did abduct a child and try to pretend like he was her only parent, and like, you know, I'm all she has in the world, please let me get on the lifeboat. That's pretty scummy, abducting a kid to save your life. And he did shoot at them, but if you take those away, really the guy is not so evil. He's not so villainous. And let me explain. So first of all, as previously established, Rose is from a wealthy background. However, her father made some poor financial decisions and their family's in debt and is facing a bankruptcy problem. Like they're about to lose their money, or they probably lost their money. And so this marriage was arranged between Rose and Cal. Cal is the heir to a very successful company, and as a result of this marriage, he's willing to inherit the debt of Rose's family. So he's going to be responsible for the financial problems, and he's going to cover them to prevent them from going into bankruptcy. Again, call me old-fashioned, but that's a really generous thing to do. I know that's like kind of expected, but the fact of the matter is, what was once a rich family lost their money, and then they're marrying into another rich family, and then they're gonna get their debts taken care of. That's a pretty generous thing for Cal to do. And the fact that Cal is trying to, you know, make her warm up to him, buying her these nice gifts, proving that hey, listen, I can provide, I can get you things that you want, I can get you things that you're happy, or that'll make you happy. It's just showing like he's investing a lot into this relationship. Not only is he investing a lot of his time and his energy, but he's also investing a lot of financial stuff. As previously established, he's incurring their family debt. He's buying her these really expensive jewelry, these artistic paintings and luxury items. Granted, she didn't really like them and they disagree about the artist stuff. Sure, you can't buy someone's affection, I get it. But the fact that he's putting in such a big investment for this relationship and she cheats on him is actually really scummy. And actually the movie kind of addresses this. There's a scene where Rose is being dressed by her mom and the mom is like, why are you being so selfish? Like, this is good for the family. And Rose is like, yeah, but it's not making me happy. I get it. Listen, I get it. I understand not wanting to be in a relationship. I mean, the dude is sparing your family financial burden and is going to provide for you for the rest of your life. That's not a horrible fate. Now, another thing. So Jack is a unemployed transient artist and she is a rich girl. And they meet each other and she's about to jump off the ship and Jack saves her and there's a misunderstanding and it seems like he attacked her and he's about to be arrested. You know, the master at arms has subdued him and restrained him. And Cal's like, listen, you put your hands on my fiance? Who the hell are you? Protective guy. You know, he's showing that he cares for her because he's providing for her. And he's like, dude, I'm like, I can't believe you just did that. But once the misunderstanding was clear, you know, backhanded compliments aside, he did try to reward Jack. You know, hey, come dine with us. Here you go. Here's some money. Thank you. You did us a good service. After which, you know, Jack is openly flirting with Rose in front of her fiance. Bro code. Dude, you don't do that. Very disrespectful. You don't hit on someone else's girlfriend or fiance or wife in front of their man. You just don't do that.
Women and children only!
So he's flirting with her in front of Cal. He's, you know, and then he takes her to a party below deck and they're drinking, they're getting drunk together, and Cal's understandably pissed.
Your exertions below decks were no doubt exhausting.
Now, any rational, normal guy, your fiance went to a party without you, without telling you, without your permission, and you got drunk with some random dude that you don't know, that's obviously not okay. That's obviously really disrespectful. And that's obviously a major violation of boundaries and you just don't do that. So him getting angry and saying, listen, I'm gonna be your husband, like, you can't do this. Understandable. And then to make matters worse, when Rose is like told, like, listen, you can't see this guy anymore, we're gonna get married, you have to understand, like, this is like, no. She goes ahead and sees him anyway. She poses naked for him for his artistic project, and then they sleep together. Jack takes her virginity, and then Cal finds out about it, and he's pissed. Rightfully so. You posed naked for another man so he can draw you, and then add you to his collection of naked pictures of all the other women he's drawn, and then you slept with him. That's insane. The dude is pissed, understandably so. Now, I know that Cal tried to set Jack up for being a thief and tried to get him arrested, and it indirectly led to him almost being killed. But the fact of the matter is this. Like, Jack, and I'm not defending Cal because Cal is a dick, but I guess I kind of am defending Cal. I don't know, but Cal's still a dick. I don't like the guy, but he's not as evil as, he's not the villain. The fact is, Jack, you're flirting, you're hitting on, you've slept with this guy's fiance. What did you expect he was gonna do? Like, you're lucky he didn't beat the crap out of you. So the fact that he framed you for being a thief and got you in trouble to get arrested, you know, I like Jack. Jack's a great character, but you kind of had that coming. Like, you don't mess with someone else's woman. You just don't do that. Now, obviously, like, you can argue, and I'm not gonna defend this, him taking it too far and he slapped Rose or he was throwing tables and screaming and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna defend that. I'm not gonna defend that. But was his anger justified? Absolutely. So to recap, two strangers meet each other on a ship. They know each other for less than a week. Girl's married. Guy, the fiance, is willing to inherit her and her family's debt and is willing to take care of her financially for the rest of her life. She meets an unemployed artist who really would not be a suitable match for her outside of the Titanic. Like, it's nice because it's a one little tiny week and it ends, so it's like what could have been. I guess that's the romance of it, because everyone loves the possibility of what could have been. I guess that's what people love about this movie.
A woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets.
But then she parties with him without her fiance's permission, gets drunk with other dudes, poses naked for the guy, and then sleeps with him. And another thing, even after all of this, Cal is still trying to save Rose. So he bribes First Officer Murdoch and says, hey, we got a deal, huh? I give you this money, you give me a spot on the lifeboat. What do you think?
We have an understanding then, Mr. Murdoch.
Women and children only, women and children first, depending on which officer, which side of the ship you were on. Okay, little historical background. Second officer, Lightoller, he had the policy of women and children only. He was the one who was, like, in the movie whispering to Captain Smith, shall we put the women and children in the boat, sir? On his side of the boat, he was like, listen, women and children only. First Officer Murdoch had the policy of women and children first, so if women and children were loaded into the boat and there were spaces left on the boat and there were men in the vicinity, he'd be like, all right, you can get on.
Any more women and children? All aboard, Mr. Murdoch. Anyone else then?
So Cal was able to barter passage onto a lifeboat with Murdoch, and when Rose ran away and ran off the ship and she jumped off of her lifeboat to get back on, Cal was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, she cheated on me, she embarrassed me, she disrespected me, and she violated the boundaries and the standards of our relationship, but I'm still willing to sacrifice my spot on a boat to guarantee that you're safe. Like, you see that scene, like, this where Bruce Ismay is about to get onto the lifeboat. Right before he gets on the boat, like, Murdoch turns and he's like, is there anyone else?
Anyone else? Do hurry along.
And he's kind of like, Cal, now's your chance. And Cal's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And he abandons his spot on the boat to try to find Rose.
Oh, God damn it, what the hell?
Like I said, is he really that horrible of a person? Yes, he did shoot at them. Not excusing that. He did kidnap a child. I'm not excusing that. That's not cool whatsoever. So after everything that Cal went through, he's still trying to save Rose. And even in the end, when they're on the Carpathia and Cal's searching the steerage passenger area on the rescue ship, the guy's like, you're not gonna find anyone of your own class down here. This is all steerage. And he's like, no, listen, my fiance is wearing steerage clothing. I'm trying to see if she's still alive. And he's still looking for her. It shows that he does care about her. And he, even in a deleted scene, he's like jubilant, oh my God, I found you, Rose. And he didn't actually find her. And he's like, Rose, oh, sorry. Again, and I know, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but this isn't really a scripted thing. This is just kind of noticeable observations and a rant that I'm making. Cal gets cheated on. He gets disrespected. He loses a lot of money because he spent all this on her. He spent money on all the jewelry he bought her, all the luxury items, the painting. Like, it was an investment. This relationship was an investment for him, and he lost, and he was disrespected and violated. I feel bad for the guy. There's nothing really romantic about a dude hitting on, sleeping with someone else's fiance. That's not cool. Like, Jack, what's your problem? You're a great guy, great character, you're king of the world.
Compliments to the Chippewa Falls Dolls!
But why? You know, bro code. And then Rose, why? What are you doing? You don't do stuff like that. This is not how we roll. Also, even the whole Jack and Rose thing, I've said it before, it's a vacation hookup that they knew each other for less than a week. There's no way they'd fall in love with each other. I'm not convinced that Jack actually loved her. I'm sure he had feelings for her, and I know he's like, oh, cool, I actually really like this chick. That's not in question, but it wasn't like a love. And then even Rose only really said I love you when she was on the brink of death, when he was on the brink of death. That kind of, to me, invalidates a lot of it. And also, the fact of the matter is, like, Jack died to save her, which I don't really think that's a romantic thing. Like, I'm gonna be honest here. This is gonna get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm willing to take the heat. You knew this girl for a week. You saved her life, which is a heroic thing. good for you, because like heroism, you save someone's life. You know, it's like that quote from Schindler's List when Ishak Stern is like repeating a verse from the Talmud.
It says whoever saves one life saves the world entire.
I get it, but was Rose really worth that sacrifice? I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's not like she was the mother of his kid. It's not like she was his wife. It just seems really extreme that this guy that he sacrifices himself for a girl he barely knows when he has nothing really invested into this relationship. I don't know. You can call me heartless. I just don't see Titanic as a romance movie. I don't really see it as like beautiful or a love story. I just see it as an epic disaster movie that features flawed characters and a historical event. That's how I see the movie.
Of course, I'm just a passenger. I leave it to your good offices to decide what's best.
I know a lot of people are going to be mad. A lot of people are going to disagree. And listen, I get it. This probably wasn't worded the best way because this is just an impromptu, unscripted rant. Like, I just finished watching the movie. I'll prove it to you. See that? I was just watching it. I got the DVD right here. So I get it. It's one of the highest grossing movies ever made, and I get it. I know why. It has things that appeal to both male and female audiences, which just makes it brilliant. It's an epic disaster movie. I really like the movie, and as a history geek and someone who's like a Titanic super nerd, there's a lot of really cool things that eagle-eyed history geeks like me can pick out and be like, oh, cool. Oh my God, it's him. It's the baker. It's Unsinkable Molly Brown. Stuff like that. That stuff's really cool.
Prepare to lower!
But in my opinion, I don't think this is a romantic movie. I don't think it's a love story. I think it's a vacation hookup that ended in a tragedy where a woman who cheated on her fiance resulted in Jack dying for her when he really didn't have to. I don't think he should have. Now, I kind of want to throw my 2 cents into the whole could they fit on the door thing. I mean, everyone always talks about this. I know this has nothing to do with the review, but everyone always says something along the lines of they could have both fit on the door, therefore Jack could have lived and Rose was being selfish. I actually surprisingly don't agree with that, because here's the thing about the Titanic. The water was actually freezing, and like if you're exposed to water temperatures like that, the water was like high 20s. I want to say like 28 degrees Fahrenheit. You're not gonna live in water that long. You're gonna get hypothermia. You'll die within like 20 minutes. So the fact is, like, was there enough room on the door panel for both of them? Maybe, but had they both got on the door, the water would have rose because the thing would have sunk into the water. The water level would have rose and they would have been both slightly submerged or exposed to the water, and then they both would have died. I get it. So the whole, Jack could have lived. I don't think he could have. I think that there was room, but if they got on, they both would have died because the water would have engulfed them both and they would have died. So anyway, guys, that's my take on Titanic. I think it's a great movie. Love the movie. The sinking sequences were awesome. The direction, the special effects, the music, all that stuff is great. There's nothing in question about that. But what I am attacking is the fact that I don't find this movie romantic. I don't think it's a love story. And I'm actually kind of sick and tired of people going around saying, oh, it's the greatest romance movie of all time. Like, really, it's not. Objectively, there's nothing romantic about this. This is kind of like, I don't know, like every guy's worst nightmare. Your fiance doesn't have respect for you. She's cheating on you with some random dude. It's literally like people make memes about this, like you and the guy she tells you not to worry about. There's memes about this stuff. This is real. It's a nightmare. From the guy's point of view, this is a nightmare. And then also, what does Jack get out of this relationship? Oh, he dies. Okay, cool. Romance. Well, anyway, guys, that was my short, unscripted little attack rant on Titanic's love story. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm wrong? I know a lot of people are probably mad at what I just said. Oh, well, that's what the comment section's for. You chose to watch this video. You had to find this video. You either had to search for this or you had to click a few videos to get to this video. So you're here on your own volition. So if you're mad at yourself. You're not mad at me. I digress. If you disagree, well, make your own video. This is just my point. I'm kidding. I love you guys. Thank you for the view. Thank you for watching. Sincerely. I was kidding. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for notifications. If you don't want to miss an upload. I got you.
No, I don't see the need.
Also, guys, I made a new YouTube channel a while ago. It's called Unboxing with Bob Phillips. It's basically where I open collectibles, or I build Legos, or I unbox things that I got in the mail. Really cool stuff. I will have that linked below. You should check it out, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. That too will be linked in the description below if you want to get into contact with me, send me a message, or, like my pictures, or if, hey, I got a suggestion for a movie I want you to review. You can do that there. Best way to get a hold of me. Instagram, give me a follow. And also, you know what? I'm just gonna plug another video of mine. Guys, I just recently made a video on Deliverance, movie versus book. What's the difference? I think that's a pretty cool video. I worked really hard for it. My guy put a lot of effort into making the music and the animations. Give that video some support. Check it out. That also is going to be linked in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time on the next Unpopular Opinion.